Hello and a very warm welcome to Rajya Sabha television. You're watching the news tonight with me, Frank Razum Pereira. Here are the headlines. Backed by the BSP, Samajwadi Party wins by-election to the Gorakhpur and Phulpur Lok Sabha seats in Uttar Pradesh. In Bihar, RJD retains the Araria parliamentary constituency and the Jehanabad assembly seat. BJP holds on to Bhabua assembly seat. Overconfidence led to by-election defeat, says Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. Admits that his party underestimated the Samajwadi Party BSP electoral understanding. SP declares that the results show that it has been a fruitful partnership. Amid disruptions, Lok Sabha passes Union Budget 2018-19, House passes Finance Bill and Appropriation Bill without discussion. Punjab National Bank fraud, Andhra Pradesh special status and Kaveri Board issues stall Parliament proceedings for the 8th day. Unruly scenes in the Gujarat Assembly. Congress MLA Pratap Budhat throws a microphone at BJP MLA Jagdish Panchal. Speaker suspends Budhat and his party colleague Amrish Der for 3 years. Other Congress MLAs for a year. And one of the brightest stars among scientists, Stephen Hawking, passes away. President, Vice President and Prime Minister join the world community in paying tributes to the physicist who unlocked the secrets of the cosmos confined to his wheelchair. Well, backed by the BSP, the Samajwadi Party sprang a surprise on the BJP by defeating it in the by-polls to the 2 Lok Sabha seats in Uttar Pradesh. The party ended the BJP's hold on its traditional bastion Gorakhpur while also claiming the Phulpur seat. Both seats were vacated by the Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister and Deputy Chief Minister following their election to the Assembly. In Bihar as well, the BJP in alliance with the JDU suffered a setback with the RJD candidate emerging victorious in Araria. Here's more.
Electoral reverses for the BJP in the by-election to the 3 Lok Sabha seats in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. Backed by the BSP, the Samajwadi Party unseated the BJP from its bastion Gorakhpur and Phulpur in Uttar Pradesh. The RJD retained the Araria seat against JDU-BJP alliance in Bihar. Samajwadi Party's Praveen Nishad defeated BJP's Upendra Dutt Shukla by over 21,000 votes in Gorakhpur. The BJP has held the seat since 1989, with Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath representing it for 5 successive terms. Phulpur, which elected Deputy Chief Minister Keshav Prasad Maurya in 2014, voted for Samajwadi Party's Nagendra Pratap Singh Patel. Patel defeated BJP's Kaushalendra Singh Patel by over 59,000 votes. The BSP and RLD supported the Samajwadi Party on both seats. In Bihar, Lalu Prasad's RJD retained the Araria Lok Sabha seat. Party nominee Sarfaraz Alam beat BJP's Pradeep Kumar Singh by over 60,000 votes. The RJD also won the Jehanabad assembly seat, with its nominee Suday Yadav defeating his JDU rival Abhiram Sharma by over 30,000 votes. BJP's Rinki Rani Pandey won the Bhabua assembly seat, defeating her Congress rival Shambhu Singh Patel by nearly 14,000 votes. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has called the results of the Gorakhpur and Phulpur Lok Sabha by-election a lesson for the BJP. Yogi Adityanath has said that overconfidence and the inability to understand the SP and BSP partnership were the prime reasons for the BJP's defeat. Yogi Adityanath has represented Gorakhpur constituency in the Lok Sabha 5 times. Speaking after the party lost the seat in the by-poll, he said that local issues led to the party's poor performance in the by-elections. Meanwhile, Samajwadi Party has thanked the BSP for their support in the by-polls. RJD too has a cause to celebrate with their victory in the Araria by-polls in Bihar.
इस बात की हम अवश्य समीक्षा करेंगे जिससे 2019 में सपा बसपा का जो यह राजनीतिक सौदेबाजी एक बार पुनः प्रदेश और देश के विकास को बाधित करने की दिशा से बना है, इसके बारे में हम लोग अपनी पूरी रणनीति तैयार करेंगे।
देखिए, यह मैं मानता हूँ, इतना मैं नहीं मान रहा था कि समाजवादी पार्टी के प्रत्याशी के पक्ष में बसपा जो उसका वोट है उसे इतना ट्रांसफ़र कराने में कामयाब होगी। जब चुनाव के लिए मतदान होना था उस समय तक दोनों एक साथ आ गए। कांग्रेस भी आंतरिक समर्थन किया।
बहुजन समाज पार्टी की नेता सुश्री मायावती जी का भी मैं बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद दूंगा। तमाम दलों ने मिलकर के समय समय पर हमें सहयोग दिया और जनता में एक संदेश दिया कि समाजवादी पार्टी के जो दोनों प्रत्याशी हैं उनका सहयोग और मदद मिले। उसी का परिणाम है ये ऐतिहासिक जीत हुई है। ये एक संदेश है, क्योंकि गिनती सबकी कर रहे हैं। ये कहीं न कहीं सोशल जस्टिस की भी जीत है।
जो चुनाव 2019 में होगी तो जनता ये मानती है कि नेशनल लेवल पे भी महागठबंधन हो, और यूपी की जनता ये भी चाहती है कि मायावती जी और अखिलेश जी मिलकर के चुनाव लड़ने का काम करें। उसमें कांग्रेस को भी साथ आना चाहिए।
ये बिहार में नीतीश कुमार जी के लिए वार्निंग है। उनका अपना सीट नहीं बचा पाए, वहाँ पर हम लोग काफी मार्जिन से जीते। और जहाँ तक अररिया का सवाल है, समझना चाहिए कि अररिया के लोगों का क्या मन था, इसलिए भाजपा को भी सोचना चाहिए।
The proceedings of the upper house were stalled on Wednesday for the 8th day in a row as the members protested over the PNB fraud and other issues. The disruptions continued despite the discussion on bank fraud being allowed and listed on the day's agenda. The government has agreed for discussions on issues being pressed by the opposition, but opposition parties are insisting on a debate under a rule that entails voting on the issue of bank frauds.
After the House conducted formal business at the start of the day's session, members began raising several issues. The Congress and the TMC sought to raise the issue of PNB fraud. The AIDMK and DMK demanded constitution of the Kaveri Water Management Board, while the TDP and a Congress member demanded special status to Andhra Pradesh. As the disruptions continued, the chairman adjourned the House till 2 p.m.
I'm adjourning the House to meet at 2 p.m. today.
There was no respite even in the post-lunch session. The Rajya Sabha Secretary General informed the House about the passage of the finance bill and the appropriation bills by the lower house amid the din.
Held on the 14th of March 2018. Passed.
As there was no let-up in the disruption, the Deputy Chairman adjourned the House till Thursday.
House stands adjourned till 11 hours on Thursday, 15th March 2018. Adjourned.
The chairman has been making fervent appeals to the members to allow the House to function, as repeated disruptions show Parliament in poor light. In fact, as the proceedings get stalled, the legislative agenda becomes the biggest casualty. Both the opposition and Treasury benches need to build a consensus so that Parliament could transact legislative business. Reporting from Delhi, with camera person Anirban, I'm Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
Well, earlier the House paid tribute to former Rajya Sabha member VPM Sami, who passed away in February. Sami represented Puducherry from the AIADMK in the Rajya Sabha from 1977 to 1983. The House also mourned the death of world-renowned physicist Stephen Hawking, who passed away in Cambridge today.
A social worker, Swami strived for the upliftment of the poor, weaker and downtrodden sections of the society and was associated with several social development activities. He served as the founder president of the Dr. Ambedkar Welfare Association, Puducherry. Sri VPM Swami represented the Union Territory of Puducherry in this House from July 1977 to July 1983. In the passing away of Sri VPM Swami, the country has lost an able parliamentarian and a dedicated social worker. Renowned British physicist and cosmologist passed away on the 14th of March 2018 at the age of 76 years. He had a rare early onset of slow progressing form of amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, also known as motor neuron disease, that gradually paralyzed him over the decades. But his indomitable spirit overcome this. Professor Stephen Hawking was a theoretical physicist whose insights shaped modern cosmology. He had 13 honorary degrees to his credit. He was recipient of many awards, medals and prizes.
Well, the upper house condemned the attack on CRPF personnel by Naxals in Sukma area of Chhattisgarh and condoled the killing of 9 CRPF personnel in the attack. The house also observed silence for the death of 10 trekkers in a forest fire in Tamil Nadu.
A day after 9 CRPF personnel were killed in a Naxal attack in Chhattisgarh's Sukma district, the upper house paid homage to the martyrs. The entire house joined the chairman in strongly condemning the dastardly attack.
9 personnel belonging to the 212 battalion of the CRPF were reportedly killed and 2 others were injured in an Naxal attack in Kistaram area of Sukma district in Chhattisgarh on 13th of March 2018. This dastardly attack and the act of senseless violence deserve to be condemned in the strongest terms and must be confronted with determination and firmness. The loss of precious lives in this tragic incident is indeed painful and unfortunate. This House joins me in expressing our heartfelt condolences and sympathy to the bereaved families and pray for the speedy recovery of the injured.
The House also mourned the death of 10 trekkers in a forest fire in Tamil Nadu and prayed for the speedy recovery of the injured.
Sad news that 10 trekkers reportedly lost their lives and 14 others were injured in a massive forest fire during a mountain trekking expedition in the Kurangani Hills in Theni district of Tamil Nadu on the 10th of March 2018. The loss of precious lives in this tragic incident is indeed painful and unfortunate. The House joins me in expressing our heartfelt condolences and sympathy to the bereaved families and pray for the speedy recovery of the injured.
Members rose in their places and observed silence as a mark of respect to the departed souls. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, the Lok Sabha today passed the Union Budget 2018-19 amid disruptions by the opposition. The House approved the Finance Bill 2018 and appropriation bills by a voice vote amid opposition uproar by voice vote. The bills were passed through guillotine, the parliamentary procedure employed to prevent delays in discussions over a bill, even as the Congress-led opposition paralyzed functioning of the House for the 8th day. Amid opposition disruptions, the Lok Sabha passed the Union Budget 2018-19. The House passed the Finance Bill 2018 and the Appropriation Bill by a voice vote without debate. 21 amendments were passed to the Finance Bill through guillotine as the Congress-led opposition paralyzed the House for the 8th day. The guillotine was also applied for the Appropriation Bill that detailed spending plans for 99 government ministries and departments. The Lok Sabha passed it after negating several cut motions moved by the opposition. The House also approved the 4th batch of supplementary demands for grants for 2017-18. The Finance and Appropriation Bills 2018 were tabled in the Rajya Sabha, but since they are money bills, they will be considered approved if the upper house doesn't return them within 14 days. They will then be sent for presidential assent. Opposition parties protested against the move, with the Congress, NCP and TMC staging a walkout. The TDP, TRS and YSR Congress members were also in the well shouting slogans. The Samajwadi Party members protested against clampdown on the media during the vote count during the Gorakhpur Lok Sabha by-poll. The House was adjourned for the day after this.
House stands adjourned to meet again on Thursday, the 15th March 2018 at 11 a.m.
Earlier, Parliamentary Affairs Minister Anant Kumar had requested the chair to take up the Finance Bill and Appropriation Bills immediately after question hour. The House was adjourned till noon due to the opposition protests. When it met at noon, the uproar continued. With the passage of the Finance Bill and the Appropriation Bill, the budget exercise is complete in the lower house. Nav Vikram Singh and Ravindra Sharon's report for Rajya Sabha Television. Moving on to other news now. The Gujarat Assembly today witnessed scuffles between the ruling BJP and opposition Congress members in the House. Now, the clashes led to the suspension of 2 Congress MLAs for an unprecedented 3 years and a 1-year suspension of another lawmaker from the party. The House plunged into chaos as the BJP and Congress members came to blows during the proceedings. The Speaker suspended two Congress MLAs, Pratap Dudhat and Amrish Der, for 3 years, the longest ever in the state's history. Another Congress legislator, Baldevji Thakur, was suspended for a year for an incident that allegedly took place at the lobby of the Assembly.
आज गुजरात विधानसभा में बहुत निंदनीय और कलंकित करने वाली घटना हुई है। कांग्रेस के एमएलए श्री अमरीश डेर ने स्पीकर श्री का अपमान किया और हिंसक रूप धारण करके विधानसभा के वेल में पहुंचने की कोशिश की।
Well, Home Minister Rajnath Singh on Wednesday admitted that the social media is posing a big challenge to law enforcement agencies. Inaugurating a 2-day Asia-Pacific Regional Conference of the International Association of Chiefs of Police in New Delhi, he said radicalization through internet is a matter of concern that needs to be urgently addressed. Singh also called upon police forces and security agencies of various countries to collaborate and defeat the threats posed by cyber crimes. The Home Minister stressed on developing foolproof software, particularly in the banking sector, and effectively address the loopholes that have recently come up.
Fake and imitating accounts, financial frauds, malware delivery, drug and other illegal article sales, victimization of women and children, and regarding this terrorism, I have to say we are making giant strides and improving business connectivity with the outer world.
Well, inflation based on wholesale prices eased to a 7-month low of 2.48% in February on cheaper food articles. Inflation in food articles slowed to 0.88% in February against 3% in January. Inflation in fuel and power segment eased to 3.81% in February compared to 4.08% in the previous month. The WPI inflation stood at 2.84% in January and 5.51% in February 2017. Meanwhile, the World Bank on Wednesday projected India's GDP growth at 7.3% for the next financial year and surged further to 7.5% in 2019-20. World Bank plans to boost India lending by $1 billion every year for the next 5 years. Here are the details.
The World Bank says the Indian economy will return to its trend growth rate of 7.5% as it emerges out of the effects of the GST rollout and demonetization. Its biannual publication, the India Development Update, says that to achieve a growth of over 8%, India will have to widen the scope of its reforms to ease credit and investment and enhance the competitiveness of exports.
Well, we are all hoping that we will cross 7.5%. and move on to 8 to 10%. And our macroeconomic fundamentals have been very sound, but for a variety of reasons, the growth has not gone to 7.5, 8, 8.5.
The World Bank also plans to raise lending by about $1 billion every year for the next 5 years, from the current $3 billion to $3.5 billion. The lending will be mainly for infrastructure projects.
Indian economy has already regained the status of world's fastest growing economy. In fact, the economic growth in recent years has been supported by prudent macroeconomic policy and fiscal consolidation. In addition to that, a barrage of reforms unveiled by the government have helped India ease business environment and facilitated the inflows of foreign direct investment. Reporting from Delhi with camera person Shyamlal, I'm Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
Meanwhile, the Reserve Bank of India has scrapped the bank guarantee instruments such as the letter of undertaking and letter of comfort with immediate effect. The move is expected to cap loopholes and improve banks' due diligence in trade credit. This comes in the aftermath of a multi-crore LOU-linked fraud unearthed at Punjab National Bank.
The industry is assessing the likely impact of the RBI decision to scrap letters of undertaking and letters of comfort. Industry chambers feel it could affect trade financing by raising credit costs for importers who use them to get cheaper credit overseas to pay suppliers. Several industries including gems and jewelry, oil and gas, electronic goods, solar panels and metals use these LOUs and LOCs.
Yes, we support the government move, we support the RBI move, but they will have to create a cushion or a space that where the businesses should not be suffering, and therefore the RBI must look into the possibility for having it regulated in a better way.
Banks issue LOUs to customers as a guarantee to honor their payment obligations to overseas suppliers. LOUs account for 4 to 5% of the credit finance trade. Letters of comfort are typically provided by banks to assure financial soundness of their customers.
हम भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त शासन देंगे, उसमें यह एक कदम है कि ऐसे भ्रष्टाचारी जो देश के बाहर जाकर के देश के साथ दुनिया भर के समझौते कर जाते थे, रुपए लेकर के भाग जाते थे, उन लोगों पर हम हर परिस्थिति में रोक लगाएंगे और भारत की सुरक्षा को बरकरार रखेंगे, आर्थिक सुरक्षा और सीमाओं की सुरक्षा.
Letters of understanding triggered the biggest bank fraud in recent times. Fugitive jeweler Nirav Modi used them to dupe the Punjab National Bank. He got his first PNB guarantee in 2011 and over the next 74 months obtained 1,202 such guarantees.
This move is expected to tighten noose around miscreants trying to defraud financial institutions. In fact, the RBI has also cautioned banks against giving unsecured commitments of large amounts for medium and long-term periods. It has also asked banks to avoid concentrating unsecured commitments to a particular group of individuals or customers. Reporting from Delhi, with camera person Anirban, I'm Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
Some international news now, where the UK is all set to expel 23 Russian diplomats as part of a sweeping response to the nerve agent attack in Salisbury. Prime Minister Theresa May said this to British Parliament today. Russia failed to explain how one of its nerve agents was used in the attempted murder of Sergei Skripal and his daughter in the UK. The expulsions are the biggest such move in 30 years. The UK will also cut off all top-level ties with Russia, including revoking an invitation to the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov to visit the UK, and will not send ministers or royals to the Football World Cup this summer. From astronauts to world leaders, tributes have been pouring in for Stephen Hawking, the modern British physicist and author who died at the age of 76. Scientists called Hawking's life a triumph, while British Prime Minister Theresa May described him as brilliant and extraordinary. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said Hawking's grit and tenacity inspired people all over the world. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu described his death as a huge loss to the scientific world.
News of the death of physicist Stephen Hawking's death triggered an outpouring of tributes across the world. Celebrities, public figures and scientists from around the world took to social media to mourn his death. The University of Cambridge, where Professor Hawking completed his PhD, called him an inspiration to millions. Astronomer Royal Lord Rees, one of the world's most eminent scientists, described his life as a triumph. Others described him as a unique individual whose death left an intellectual vacuum in his wake. NASA said Professor Hawking's theories unlocked a universe of possibilities. It added, "May you keep flying like Superman in microgravity," as you said to astronauts on the International Space Station in 2014. The inventor of the World Wide Web, Sir Tim Berners-Lee, praised Professor Hawking's colossal mind and wonderful spirit. The European Space Agency shared a photo of Professor Hawking in 2007 experiencing zero gravity aboard a plane, alongside a caption which said, "He showed us there are no limits to achieving our dreams." Many have also praised his humor, with actor Eddie Redmayne, who portrayed Professor Hawking in the film biopic The Theory of Everything in 2014, calling him the funniest man I have ever met. Tributes also came from the entertainment industry. Neuroscientist and the Big Bang Theory actress Mayim Bialik, who met with Professor Hawking when he starred in an episode of the series, shared a photo of him and the cast. Professor Hawking's family said in a statement, his courage and persistence with his brilliance and humor inspired people across the world. World leaders too took to Twitter to pay tributes to Hawking. Praising Hawking, British Prime Minister Theresa May said he was a brilliant and extraordinary mind, one of the greatest scientists of his generation. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also condoled the demise of cosmologist Hawking and said that his grit and tenacity inspired people all over the world. He described Hawking as an outstanding scientist. China, too, offered condolences over Stephen Hawking's death.
我们对霍金先生不幸去世表示哀悼和惋惜，也向他的家属表示慰问。霍金先生和他做出的贡献，我相信将被永远铭记。
There was a particular outpouring of emotion in Japan. Many people said they grew up reading Professor Hawking's book.
僕自身理工学部の大学生なんですけども、なんで理工系に興味を持ったかっていうと、小学校の時に図書館にスティーブン・ホーキング博士のブラックホールの和訳された本なんですけど、ちょっと大きめな本があって、全然内容は理解できなかったんですけど、
もっといろんなワクワクするようなことを発表してほしかったなと思いました。残念です。
常人にはもう計り知れないような頭脳をお持ちの方だったと思いますので、出してちゃんと研究したこととか伝えたかったことを伝えきれたのかなというふうに思います。
Hawking made several discoveries that transformed the way scientists viewed black holes and the universe. He is survived by his 3 children, Lucy, Robert and Tim. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
No longer amongst us, but he will always be remembered. With that, it's a wrap on this newscast.